Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we have Eagle Rare 10-year-old. Dustin and Keith. Keith joins from Multi-Man Cave. Dustin's with me as always. We've never done Eagle Rare. You brought this stuff to me, Dustin.
I was looking. If you and Billy did it, I missed it.
I thought you and Billy did it. I'm pretty sure.
I couldn't find it.
At the hair salon place or tattoo shop?
Well, that's where it would have been, but...
It's a hair salon.
I always honestly thought it was a hair salon when I watched the old videos. I'm not even kidding.
He's bald. I'm going bald. There was no one there with good
Why
hair.
are you so offended?
Hair salon? You think I'm hanging out at hair salons? No.
Because all the people in the background were girls.
I swear I sound like an old lady with like a wig with her curlers in the back. No?
No.
I'm not even kidding. I a couple times thought it was a hair salon myself. Like I heard like all the ladies in the back. I'm like, I don't know why Mike's at this weird place. But hey,
so offended?
That was my wife and whoever girl was at the front desk. It was not. You were there. All right.
If we've not, this is a pick, so we're re-reviewing if that's the case. But
Yeah, it's been a while and we didn't get Dustin's thoughts. Apparently I don't want many more of them. You think I'm hanging out at hair salons. Hair salon. Good Lord. All right, here we go. Eagle Rare 10. At one time, a bottle of whiskey that was regularly available that you get all the time.
Yep.
Now it's the unicorn, it seems like. They're really hard to get. Sometimes they actually put these in lotteries in Ohio, which is a shame.
yeah,
But we'll see. We'll get our take on it. Dustin, what do you want to add?
I had to wait in line to get this, Mike, just to put context.
Yeah, 45% ABV. It's a good whiskey. We'll get into it.
They've gone up in price quite a bit too. This is a pick, guys. I know people kind of are indifferent, but every Eagle Rare is effectively still a single barrel. Today they do a continuous process, so 1 out of every 150 bottles, I guess, is a split between two barrels. But the rest of them are effectively single barrels, just not legally speaking.
Good, rich color. Mahogany.
Maraschino cherries, cherry wood,
Yeah.
But I also get a little bit of
glaze.
I get a little bit of grape on this one, which is unusual for the Eagle Rare.
Or absolutely,
Or like grape soda.
Or
Crush.
Like, you remember
It's great crush.
You remember the bottle cap candies?
Okay, yeah.
The grape bottle cap candies.
Rich oak. I mean, also the nose on here is very impressive for being 45. I mean, it has a wallop of intensity.
I mean, this may end up being better than this whiskey that I'm about to say, but it reminds me of a really good Booker's from like 5-6 years ago. I'm not saying that this is not going to end up being better. I'm just saying some of the notes.
I mean, I'm not getting peanut butter and all that other stuff.
That grape bottle cap candy I remember getting a lot with 2 or 3 Bookers.
Okay. I don't know that I've had that on Booker's, but I mean, I'm not a big Booker's guy. I'm not a big fan of red hot cinnamon, which I get a lot on Booker's. So
speaking of that, there is a little cinnamon here.
I don't really.
It's not strong. It's a very mild.
I just get wood spice, but I mean, I guess you could probably pull cinnamon out of that.
Yeah, it's spicy. I mean, you can pull a few things out of spice.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some nice wood. I mean, you get the age on this thing. I mean, it's definitely got that 10 years or so age.
Yeah, I got some oak, a little bit prickly.
Yeah,
I haven't had this in a long time.
Have you guys ever? What is it? The fireballs? What is that candy called? That it's red and then it's
Fireball.
Yeah,
Fireball. You know how after you've most of the red parts off and it's down to mostly the chalk, but a little bit.
Yeah,
I almost get that note
candy.
where there's like the chalky, but just a little bit of the cinnamon part, fire hot left.
Now that you're saying it, I'm getting cinnamon, but I swear it's all you. It's simple, but it's nice. It's very rich. It does a couple of things really well, and it gives you a very nice overall experience.
Any vanilla, guys?
Maybe a twinge. I'm not getting a lot.
Yeah, it's mostly cherry and.
Yeah, those are always things you get like right away at first. That cherry wood.
I don't know why, but for some reason at Eagle Rare, a lot of times there's just it's like a glaze, at least on the nose. It smells like a glaze of some sort.
Oh man,
What are you picking up, big guy?
this is delicious, man. So yeah, I mean, up front, it's all those rich, beautiful cherry candies. Then I actually do think you truly do get a little bit of cinnamon spice
Oh, I just
on the palate.
There we go.
I don't smell it, but I'm tasting a little bit of that. Then it transitions to a nice oakiness, and then the finish is that Welch's crushed grape soda kind of thing going on, which I freaking love. Mm-hmm. That we're getting the grape soda note and the cherry. Mm-hmm. That's a really popular note on these Eagle Rares, is to get when you get the grape and you still have cherry. That is a really nice combination.
I agree.
And this crushed it.
Yeah, it's good. I haven't had grape crush in a long time because I'm an orange crush guy normally, And you're one or the other. You know what I'm saying? It's like tea. Like you like iced tea with sugar in it, or you like iced tea without sugar in it. It's one or the other. You really don't like the other. But this comes off very, from what I remember, grape crush-ish. Have a great day speaking. Celestial.
Words are hard.
Words are hard, Dustin.
Do you guys agree? I feel like Eagle Rare, there's certain whiskeys that leave you where it's not dry, and then there's other ones like it's kind of drying. Mm-hmm. I always feel like Eagle Rare is drying, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's the age in the oak, I think. Yeah, it definitely is.
It kind of has that Highland Park thing where you swallow, it gets dry, and then it kind of...
and then it gets...
Juiciness comes
yes.
back. Yeah. And for this one with me, the juiciness... dried, then juiciness came back.
Highland Park. It really does.
Mm-hmm. But with water, I'm getting a lot of the same notes we were getting before. This didn't really change.
Now I'm getting the vanilla pretty noticeably coming through.
Sure.
The cherry's a little pushed back while the vanilla's coming through, but otherwise, same stuff.
Yeah, no, it's pretty standard. Which is why this was always, what was this like 5-6 years ago? Like $40?
Oh, it was 30, 35 maybe.
Yeah. I do remember like when this was out, it was just everywhere.
I think MSRP on this one's now about 45. I think I paid 50, but picks tend to be $5 more a lot of times. So, and when you're talking about a 10-year-old whiskey, I wish it wasn't 45 and it was a little bit hotter, but that's where E.H. Taylor comes in at 100. So, but I actually tend to like the Eagle Rare better. I mean, it is older.
This is something I was talking about with my buddy Adam here recently. The difference between 45 or say a 50, because we were talking about that too, those two specific ABVs. Man, and bourbon comes off thin, where in Scotch, if it's 50%, it doesn't come off that way. Like 50% bourbon is not 50% Scotch. And the same thing with 46 or 45. Like the bourbon's always felt thinner to me than Scotches do at the same ABV. Am I crazy, Dustin?
Oh, I completely agree. That's also because bourbon tends to be from a column still, whereas Scotch has to be off a pot still, and pot stills impart a richer, oilier quality. Also,
you think malted barley is a little bit more oily too?
Just getting ready to say that corn versus malted barley. I think corn comes off a little bit softer.
Yeah, a little thinner. Again, with water, a lot of the same notes. This whiskey was always a solid whiskey I would drink, and it never really blew me away. You know what I mean?
I enjoy the cherry note and the grape note significantly. It is good.
I feel like a banana split. It's your type of whiskey.
This is absolutely my profile in bourbon. Now, I wish it was, cast strength. I wish it was, a few things like that. But overall, I love the flavor profile here.
Let's get to the whiskey score, Keith.
Can I say one last thing, Mike?
No.
So, it's not as strong as E.H. Taylor. But that sugar daddy, sugar babies kind of, and it's not strong. And it's definitely not as strong as it is in E.H. Taylor offerings. But I get that a little bit. And that's good, especially on the palate and a little bit on the finish.
All right, so equate all that into a whiskey score for us, Keith. Where are you at, big guy?
All right. Probably 87 again.
87 out of
86, 87.
I'll give it the higher of the two scores I was kicking around. I'll give it an 86. I never was super impressed with these Eagle Rares. I mean, it's a solid bourbon. It really doesn't do a ton for me. Nothing's exciting about this whiskey, but then again, nothing's off-putting either. But again, a bottle that retails normally for around $35 to $45, 85, 86, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Not
I'd
amazing.
buy this any day, though. If I could get this, I would be thrilled to have it.
I wouldn't. I don't care if there was a line. There were 30 of them in there. I get them from someone else. I like I know people in the office that like them. I know customers that like them. I know my brother-in-laws like them. I wouldn't buy it even $38. That's where I'm at.
So, of the somewhat obtainable Buffalo Trace products, this is the only one I'd ever consistently keep anymore. I used to be an H. Taylor fan, but I think the quality's gone down.
Really?
But the consistency on these, especially because they have that 10-year age statement, has stayed up. I love those cherry notes. And so I'm right there with Keith at 87. I could be convinced to go 88 on this particular bottle because it is a little better than the average. But I'm going to leave it at 87 because there are definitely some picks that I think would fall 85, 86. This one's really good. Eagle Rare, I think, at its best, might get to that 88. I don't think it ever gets any better than that, though. And they definitely dip into the low to mid 80s. So,
anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular release. If you guys had a chance to try Eagle Rare, which I'm sure you have, you're watching our whiskey review channel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a regularly available bottle, or at least it was for many, many, many years. I'd like to know what you guys think. Dustin and Keith, until next time, guys, what do we wish the folks?
Happy drinking.
We'll see you then.